All right, let's dive into a story that really gets under your skin. It plays on a fear I think every single one of us has felt at some point. We're going to break down this chilling little tale slide by slide and see just how it manages to be so darn creepy. So let's start with this. Have you ever had that feeling? You know the one, that little prickle on the back of your neck that just screams you're not alone? Well, this story takes that exact feeling and runs with it, right to a terrifying conclusion. Our story kicks off, like so many scary stories do, on a lonely night. We're on a street that's just wrapped in silence. And that quiet isn't peaceful. It's the kind that makes you feel completely and utterly alone. And to be exact, it's 10:30 p.m. You know, that perfect time of night, late enough for everything to be still, for all the shadows to stretch out and get a little weird, and for your mind to start playing tricks on you, or so you hope. Yeah, and check out the way this is described. It's not just quiet. The street was unnaturally still. Even the air seemed frozen. See, this isn't just about a lack of sound. It's an oppressive, heavy kind of silence that feels wrong. So here's our main guy, Amen. He's just trying to get home from a long night shift. And that's when it happens. First he feels it, and then he hears it, that unmistakable sound of footsteps behind him, keeping perfect pace with his own. And this is where things take their first major turn. The strange encounter. The man finally works up the nerve to look back, and what he sees, well, it should be a relief. But instead, it just feels deeply and fundamentally wrong. He sees his younger brother, Bunty, and for just a split second, you can imagine the tension just poof, gone. But those last 4 words on the slide, or so it seemed, they tell you everything you need to know. That feeling of dread comes right back. And this slide just nails why it's so creepy. On the left, that's what he expects to see, right? The warm, familiar, living face of his brother. But what he actually sees is on the right. A face that's completely white, with these wide eyes that just never blinked. It's a textbook example of the uncanny valley, you know? That place where something looks almost human, but is just off enough to set off every alarm bell in your brain. So Amen, trying to make some sense of this, asks a perfectly normal question. Hey, what are you doing out so late? And the response? Nothing. Not a word. The figure just smiles. A slow, silent smile on that pale, unblinking face. And just like that, the tension is back. And believe me, it is so much worse than before. They walk the rest of the way home in this awful silence and finally get to the front door. We're now at the peak of the story, what we're calling the truth at the door. Because one simple sentence from inside that house is about to completely shatter Amen's reality. Aman gets the door open, probably feeling this huge wave of relief to finally be home. But just as he's stepping inside, he hears his mother's voice call out from another room. And there it is, the line that just turns your blood to ice. Aman, Bonti has been sitting here with me for a while. The fact that she says it so casually, so normally, that's what makes it so incredibly chilling. You can just imagine it. His whole body goes numb. He looks past the doorway and he sees it for himself. There is the real Bonti, sitting there totally safe with their mom. It's impossible, but it's happening right in front of him. So, this is the question, isn't it? The one that's just screaming in Amen's head, and probably in yours right now too. If the real Bonti was inside the whole time, then who or what has been walking right behind him all this time? Who is standing at the door? And now we get the answer. This next part, the true face, is where that illusion of his brother just completely shatters. And what's underneath is, well, it's an unspeakable horror. The story draws this moment out in 3 absolutely terrifying steps. First, a man, full of dread, slowly turns back around to face the thing on his doorstep. Second, it's still smiling that awful smile, but now its face is literally beginning to melt. And third, it leans in, right up next to his ear, and it whispers. This is what it says. I am not Bonti. I am the one who walks behind. It actually gives itself a name. And its name is the very fear it represents. It's the living, breathing embodiment of that feeling of being followed. And right after that horrifying confession, the final punch. Bam! all the lights in the house just go out, plunging everything into total, absolute darkness. But the story doesn't actually end there in the dark. It leaves us with this lingering mystery, an epilogue we're calling the forever search. Because what happens the next morning doesn't solve a thing. No, it just makes the horror that much deeper. So, the morning after all this, Amen is gone, vanished. The neighbors say something strange happened, and here's the detail that'll stick with you. Small, bare footprints are found outside the house. But they don't just show up once. They come back every single night. And that brings us to the end, and to the final, haunting question this story leaves you with. It seems like the one who walks behind got Amahan, but those footprints, they keep coming back. So you have to wonder, who or what are they still searching for, night after night? Something to think about next time you're walking home alone.